One thing that I always judge when I'm looking at a place that I do business with is how receptive employees are when they walk in the front door. You can get a good feeling or a bad feeling, and I always can get a good feeling when I walk into a landmark because they just feel like you're important to them.
Landmark Bank, it's a relationship I didn't know that you could have with a bank.
It is a personal bank for me. I can walk in, it's always friendly, and I do know people that are here, and that is very comforting. It's not a stress to walk into the bank.
Everybody smiles and speaks to me and does everything they can to meet my needs.
Every time I walk in, it's not just an array of strangers.
They address you by name.
They know you and they want to
They know
help
you by name, and I was always impressed with that.
The day we opened, our first day of operation, our very first order, 3 minutes before we opened, was Landmark Bank with a $200 order.
Every time I pull through the drive-thru, they know my dog's names, and they always have a special treat waiting for them, and even talk to them through the drive-thru.
I've continued to bank with Landmark for several reasons. Number one, there's enough branches around town that wherever I am, I can run in. My safe deposit boxes are at the original place where I first opened them. They have always met my needs, and it's very important to me that I know individuals so that every time I walk in, it's not just an array of strangers, there's a familiar face. So I have not been tempted to go anyplace else except Landmark because of the people I know there.
Very special that Landmark is local and does have local people that care about you. And I've been very appreciative of that over the last 12, 13 years that I've been here. I do appreciate it.
I think as much as anything, the number of locations in different places where I can go and even just simply using my ATM card. And it's tempting to hit the closest one, but then then that bank is going to charge you a couple extra bucks to get your money out. I'm not ever that far away from a Landmark ATM here in town. I can always go and get one, and just the convenience of that is it's important to me. It's nice to have.
Landmark Bank has really been good for us all. It's been good for this community, and they've helped out a lot of people over the years.
Because they do make a difference in this community.
See Landmark's footprints in a lot of things we do. A lot of the community services and the organizations in the community have, you can tell that Landmark backs them. Some of our charity organizations in the community, you can see Landmark, not just their financial backing, but you also see their employees out in the community.
One of the bank tellers said, "Mr. Landrum wants to see you." So I went into his office and we had a good visit. He asked me why I didn't borrow any money. And I told him because he didn't have a farm loan man. And he picked up the phone, and pretty soon Harold Price walked in and he said, "I want to introduce you to my farm loan man."
My father, who was a veterinarian here in town with Horton Animal Hospitals, he had moved back here to town and had a plan to open an animal hospital, and decided that he wanted to focus on small animals, which wasn't something that was done at the time. So he came to what was then First National Bank and talked with Foster Thurston about getting a loan. Sat across the table from him for, said maybe about 15 to 20 minutes or so. And, Foster looked at him and said, I like the plan that you have. I think that you mean what you say, and agreed to give him the loan. Well, Dad came back a couple of days later and asked him, so, well, Mr. Thurston, why was that you gave me that loan? And Foster told him, he said, well, first off, I've never had a veterinarian default on a loan. And second, this is the smallest amount of money that you're ever going to owe us.
We use the bank for home loans, for refinancing of a home loan, for investment properties that we may have. We've used it for our regular checking, savings accounts, line of credit. If you name it within a banking institution, and I probably broached into that area, or at least tried to inquire about that service that the bank provides.
My experience with the bank has been that they are deal makers, not deal breakers, and they look for ways to try to make the transaction go forward. They did things that I didn't think a bank could do.
When you look at the service that Landmark Bank gives to their customers, you find that it's basically a relationship of respect, of good communication, of sound logic, but more importantly, it gives you a small town flavor with big town banking.
Even if you have problems, they tell you, we got problems together, let's work it out. And we got your back. And what would you like to do? Not say, okay, this is what you're going to do, and if you don't like it, well, that's just tough. They've never been like that, and I've recommended many people to come here. You couldn't ask for a better business partner than the Landmark Bank. And I'm not blowing any smoke, these guys are good.
One of the significant attributes of the Midway USA company is our values. So we have a vision to be the best run, most respected business in America for the benefit of our customers. That's an extremely powerful vision and very driving for the organization. But we also have a set of 9 values. And those 9 values are honesty, integrity, humility, respect for others, teamwork, a positive attitude, accountability, stewardship, and loyalty. Now, those are very, very important to us. And what we say is if you don't have them, you can't work here. And if we find out you don't have them after you work here, you can't stay. But we also look for suppliers. We also look for partners who share those same values. One of the things that I would say about Landmark Bank is it's just about as close to being like Midway as any organization I think that I could ever find. As you see the people and talk to people, you can see those values all through the Landmark organization, from the people I know at the top to the people I know down that are working in the teller slots. So the values are very important to Midway, and I think that Landmark Bank shares those 9 values that Midway has.
You can spend all the money you want on advertising, but if your staff in your business cannot back up what you say that you can do, you're just wasting your money.
I've stayed with Landmark Bank since I've been in Columbia because I'm one of those people that likes to know the people with the organizations I deal with, including banks, and very much so Landmark Bank.
It's the same type of thing we try to do in our business. We want people to feel like they're wanted and appreciated in our store. And everybody wants to be treated with respect, and we think that's very important.
Never make you feel like you're not one of them. Hey, we got a problem together, not a problem by yourself, and what are you going to do about it?
Who should I use for some of my banking needs? I had the fingers were pointed towards Landmark Bank in this community.
You don't need a bank if times are always good. You need the bank when times are not good.
I truly do cherish my memories of this bank.
My preference is Landmark, just for the people and the relationships that we have, and just being able to go in and be greeted with a smile and be called by your name. It means a lot.
There were times, you fall into hard times, and they pulled us right out of it, and they understood.
When I come into the bank, they treat me like I'm their favorite uncle here.
The employees here at Landmark Bank are like family to me.
So I've had my bank account at this bank for 80 years.
150 years in the banking business is good enough for me. I'll stay with Landmark.
Landmark Bank is here for you. See, it's not clear enough
Joe's got
yet.
allergies.